Hello, everyone. My name is Ron McIntyre, Principal Coach of Standard Trust and owner of Transformative Leadership Group. And with me is Rob Peters, the founder of Standard Trust and facilitator of Relationship Capital.
Hello, everyone.
Our goal today is to give you an overview of the Peer Commitment Management Platform and how you can utilize it for your daily activities. To set the stage, we will be using our test accounts to walk through many very simple steps you can do with your people in your sphere of influence and be able to keep commitments with them. Keep in mind, we do not recommend that you attempt to track every commitment, nor do we recommend that you send out commitment requests that have not been discussed with the maker in advance. The core of Peer is to facilitate with your business relationships to collaborate on making and keeping commitments of high value that will result in a win-win environment and help all your business interactions grow and expand. Peer is not meant to be a one-way tool. It must be part of a collaborative partnership in relationships that seek to be trustworthy, credible, and of high integrity to be successful. People will not adopt using the platform if they don't feel their ideas, recommendations, or comments are respected, listened to, or acknowledged in some way. Peer provides a perfect venue to address those issues. Now, as you can see, this is the login screen, and you can basically, from here, you can go into the YouTube training channels, of which this video will be part of it at some point, and you can actually see the plans that are available. To sign up for the 30-day free trial, just come to this bronze area, click the 30-day trial, and sign up, and you will have an active, fully functional bronze membership for 30 days at no cost.
No credit card required at this time.
Right. Now let's log in. Now, this is the dashboard. This is the main screen that you come into every time you log in. And to be perfectly frank, you really start with this area because this tells you who you're connected to and who you can exchange commitments with. So this is really at the core of the application, because each person must be a member of each other's connections to be able to exchange commitments. Now, as you can see, Rob's test account is Lincoln Peters, and I also have him on here with his regular account. Next, we move on to the commitments area, and you can see we already have one commitment that we made today, which is just to develop an online.
Click on the details, Ron.
It's basically, you can see when I hover over it, it says develop online outline for video. I can go to details and I can see the expanded view of it. You always have an audit of what you've done and what the other person does. You can also edit it at any point, or you can delete it. As the requester, your primary role is to be the driver of that commitment.
Well, you've been a pioneer on being specific and detailed. Could you talk just briefly about the importance of how you request a commitment?
Yeah, basically, if you're going to request a commitment, we want you to be very, very specific. Now, the thought behind that is that you've had a conversation with them prior to sending the commitment request. And this should be a very simple process. You decide that you need to have something done. You then create an agreement verbally. You go back, you create the actual commitment request on the platform. In this case, we're going to do it with Lincoln Peters. And we're basically going to say, arrange meeting with Joe regarding Peer. They have 40 characters you work with.
Make it negotiable, Ron. So let's do negotiable.
All right, we do negotiable. Set a date, and we want to put a due date of Monday. And we're going to make it a high. At this point, I need to save it as a draft, or I can send it. I'm just going to go ahead and send it because we've already had the discussions and we're pretty well in agreement on it. Now you're going to see that this will go basically post to both of our sites in terms of being an active commitment.
And I received it, Ron.
Yeah.
And if I go open up my active commitments and arrange meeting with the details with Joe, and I look at it, it says it's due January 16th, and I happen to be flying that day from London back to Chicago. So I'm going to negotiate if I could do that on the 18th. Can do the 18th. And I'm going to leave the time blank.
Okay.
And I submit it to you. Yes, I'm sure I want to submit it. And it's executing.
Now, during this time, keep in mind that with negotiation, the maker has one chance to be able to negotiate on this. And
It's processed. Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually going to be the date, but you can negotiate on other things within it. Just keep in mind that the agreement process is going to take a little longer to get everything worked out. Okay, and we can see in here that he proposed a date, changed to the 18th. And we're going to accept that. You can watch the date up here will change. Now keep in mind, as the requester, you are the driver. You are the central core of this commitment. Now you can see the date changed. And with anything you do, it's going to be recorded up here. And this is what we call the bell, and it notifies you of anything that is changed in terms of any of your commitments.
So I've received your updated commitment request with the 18th, so I'm going to accept that because that's what I asked for and you agreed to it. So I've accepted it, it's processing, and it is executed.
Okay.
So I go to my active commitments, and what you can't see it right now, guys, because you don't see my screen, but I have a time bar that's now in orange because it's 157 hours away. So it kind of incentivizes me to make sure I submit this introduction before midnight, the 18th.
Right. Now, as you can see, I've changed to the line view, which is a new release that we just did. This allows you to look at all your commitments in line form, and you can see now it says it's in progress. That's an indicator that he's accepted it. You can also go back to the detail from here. You can also see down here that he accepted it at 10:07 a.m. So you have a complete track of everything, as does the maker of everything that went on with that particular startup of the process.
Ron, I just sent an email to you and Joe to facilitate that introduction. So I'm going to submit my commitment as delivered.
Very good.
So I just got my 30 RCP points for submittal. So you should get that submittal notice.
All right.
So it's nice to earn points for doing what you say you're going to do.
Yeah.
Not just for our relationship, because we've known each other a long time, but it's for all the people who don't necessarily know me that I want to showcase my performance.
Now, as you can see, after I refresh my screen, that particular commitment request is gone. And that's because Rob has basically accepted it, he's completed it, and he submitted it. So now it's moved over to archived. And I still have a step left that says I need to create feedback. So to create feedback, all I have to do is click on this button, answer the 5 questions, and we're just going to say they're 5 stars at this point. and then I submit.
Talk about the qualitative feedback, Ron.
The whole idea of qualitative feedback at the bottom is something that we believe is critical. In a simple request like this one, it can be a very simple response. If it's a longer term project that has more implications to it, then we expect this to be a more fully explained definition or assessment of what you felt the feedback should be. Was it good? Did you have good communications? Did you have a successful delivery? All of those things should be part of that process.
And I certainly have appreciated not just the positive feedback when I delivered on the expectation, on the commitment, but also what I could improve upon in the future.
Correct.
That's always welcomed, at least for me. I'm trying to get better at what I do.
And so you want to put as much detail in there as you feel is necessary to be fair and to be as authentic as you can be in terms of delivering what needs to be delivered. Now, what happens from this point on is I've delivered the commitments, or I've delivered the feedback. Now Rob will get the commitment points on his leaderboard. We haven't discussed about leaderboard yet, but it is a case where the leaderboard is where we basically track all the various definitions.
And from my side is since, as Ron mentioned, a fulfilled commitment or commitment that's been delivered goes into archive. I go into my archive and I see your 5-star feedback on my screen, on my card view. I click on view and I get the specific stars on each question. They're all 5, so that's great. I can share this now to LinkedIn or Twitter and Facebook, and there's a lot of people watching my behavior, that I do what I say, so I definitely like to share this. And even when it's 3 out of 5 stars, or even when I screwed up, or it's a 2 out of 5, I'm still going to share. At least that's for me. I'm going to be as transparent about what I do well, and even when I screw up, I want to at least share that. So it's not all just sharing everything's great. So
you can see I went back to, since this is a test account, I don't have a lot of data in it. So I went back to where there was data. You can see what Rob is seeing. You can see that in this case, we got 30 points, but there were 60 points that we missed because we delayed a delivery or something happened. So we only got 30 out of the 90 that are available. That's why the pie chart looks the way it does.
Well, on mine, as I see my 30 points, so my pie is full.
Exactly.
I see on the feedback, on the x-axis, it's all 5 stars, so it's all high. So I got my points.
Right.
And in my top 10 connections on my leaderboard, I show up number 2 behind you, Ron. I get 105 RCPs. So haven't earned any appreciation on Lincoln Peters, but it's a test account. So we haven't done any tests on badges yet.
Now at that point, you're seeing the bottom of the screen here where it talks about appreciation RCP. And we're going to talk about that next. But it also talks about level bonus RCP. And if you go to achievements, this is where we show, here are the levels of achievements that you can make. At 1,000 points, you'll get a bronze badge. 2,500, you get silver, gold, and so forth, all the way up to 100,000 points. So there is room to grow, and here's the top 10 connections that Rob was talking about. So you can see that. Now, the next part is something that we call appreciation for peers.
Let me send you one, Ron, so they can see it on your screen.
All right.
So I'm going to write you an appreciation since you've been consistently delivering quality feedback.
Yep.
I'm going to send a communications badge. Great job communicating. And this goes to what account, Ron? The Ron D?
The Ron D.
And I have submitted it. So it's processing. Oh, it goes very quickly.
And you'll see that in my bell notice, it shows that I've gotten a notification. I received again. And there's the link that he gave me, which is communication badge.
And the qualitative comment. I did it briefly, but normally I put a little bit more detail.
Right.
On the, because appreciation, people definitely love to be appreciated, and doing it authentically, not fake appreciation. I mean, that defeats the purpose of gratitude and thanking people.
Right. Should not be mechanical.
Share the social aspects of this.
And you do have the ability to share this on social. Let's say I want to do it on Twitter. It pops up and says, you can leave it just like this if you want to.
Mention this as a test. This is a test.
And then I just hit tweet. And if you want to, you can go back and you can see the tweet is out there.
So if you're a manager or a business owner and you're looking another additional business benefit of the social business, the appreciation, the feedback, sharing this on social, you can incentivize your staff. You don't have to, don't make it mandatory, but have them voluntarily share more of the company, more of their work with their social network, gets your company more visible out there. So there's definitely a business benefit to elevating employee advocacy.
Now here you can see these are all the badges that you have the ability to select from. And there's only one that is not shown here physically, and that's the high five badge that you can give to anybody anytime. This is kind of the pat on the back.
Yeah, show that, Ron. Why don't you just give a little training on the high five badge?
So if I do the Lincoln and I just say,
and you don't select anything.
you don't select anything, you just hit submit. Now again, up in a bell here, you'll see that.
Now I got it on my side.
Okay, you got it on your side. And here's what I can show as I sent.
You see the high five badge.
There's a high five badge, right?
You can, and if you maximize the zoom in on this Chrome browser or your browser on, you can see it easier. But yeah, what I love about the high five badge, Ron, is, and I know Phil Gerbishak, if you're listening, Phil would suggest that we add a point. Right now, there's no points for the badges, but right now this is just authentic. Thank you. At some point, we may want to, and give us feedback if you want us to do that. We're always open. The badges, right, Ron? This is phase one. These are the first badges. Our vision is, with your input, your suggestions, the users, we will add more badges as user adoption grows.
Absolutely, and I think part of what needs to happen is, if you find this side particularly helpful, we may find a way to customize, that allow you to customize it to, if you want to use a particular placard that we have up there, but you want to call it something else, that could be an option that we look at in the future.
Well, that's a great idea. We haven't talked about this, Ron, so we could upload an image of a badge and allow users to do that. That's something we should definitely consider.
Right. In general, that's a very simple overview of going all the way through. We didn't talk about building a connection, but the importance of it we did discuss. We did walk through commitments. We did the leaderboard. Showed you appreciation of peers.
Maybe you could wrap up, Ron, by just articulating the importance. If you decide to sign up and try, at least do the 30-day trial to see if there's value to your business, the importance of a good user profile. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, user profile, look at it, and I tell everybody the same thing, is make sure that you are very clear in your definition of what you want to say about yourself. Look at it as a billboard for yourself, for your business. And this is something that's important. It can't be overlooked. And because this is a test account, it's a very limited one, but if you look at my personal profile, you'll see this is very, very complete. It's also formatable, which is something that is extremely nice because I can go in here and I can highlight things. For example, if I wanted to highlight the fact that I've got a book out there, I can just bold that. I can rearrange all of these types. I can go to a numbered system. And this, by the way, is limited to 1,500 characters. So there's plenty of room to move. And all you do is save, and that profile is now complete.
And then if you go to Ron's, if you get on the platform, you go to Ron's real life profile, his years of experience, his skills, all this details there, because this is your billboard. This is how, if you're an independent contractor, you're a small business professional, and you're a team member, and people want to see if they want to include you on their project. This is important to you getting work, to getting seen, to getting applied to growing your business and your skills.
There's a complete profile, complete with the LinkedIn links, all the social links. And you want this to be as complete as possible. And the whole idea is you don't want people to have to guess about who you are. First of all, that's not being authentic. And second of all, if they have to guess, sometimes they're going to guess the wrong way.
If I could kind of summarize, at least from my perspective, then I'll let you kind of wrap up the call, Ron, is, as the founder of Standard Trust and as the co-creator of this peer platform, my vision, our vision, is to really elevate people's credibility, showcase it, define it, be able to be searched on search engines, and to make it authentic, operational. This is not just a clout score. This is about people saying that you do what you say and say what you do, so around your skills. So my vision is to really make credibility a currency. One thing that we're considering in the future is to use the blockchain to make those agreements that you make between peers on those commitments, kind of lock them down and make them smart and verifiable and transparent, and leverage the blockchain, which is coming on strong. It seems to be a good match for this peer-to-peer system. Turn it over to you, Ron.
Well, we want to thank you for taking time to listen today. And if you have any questions, please feel free to go to the Standards of Trust website, which is http://standardoftrust.com, or you can check out Peer directly at pe-er.biz, or you can check out my website for the coaching at tlgcoach.com. And again, we thank you for being part of the conversation today, and we look forward to any questions you have. Feel free to send us any email at info@standardoftrust.com.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good day.